Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Quick look here at ICP, seeing what's going on. This is awesome, folks. This is a nice little cup and handle playout. I'll admit this is not the cleanest handle that you'll ever see on a cup, but it is absolutely still a thing. Okay, so in fact, it kind of came down to double bottom there off this lower fib level at 0.382. Bounced nicely and did very well. So again, quick congrats to our community members here for some awesome profits. What was it? We took profits from Dogecoin 40% in 2 days, Reef 36% in 2 days, Bitcoin 86% along from 43,000 to 52,000 in 12 days. And of course, ICP good 32% in roughly 1.5 trading days. So that trade is still open, folks. Keep in mind, we're still likely to hit our second and tertiary targets there. It's definitely looking pretty good here. So we're going to talk about why that is the case. So if you're new to the channel, just know I'm not a financial advisor. Truly love teaching people to trade, and I hope you can learn something here today. If you want to become a better trader, though, again, cryptocash.tech is a site link down below. There are limited slots available, but obviously, if you want to learn more, check it out. I got a Trading University Academy, and of course, those signals I just shared with you there, which can be automatically followed too with my day trading bot, or just in general if you decide you want to use Cornix. Awesome trading bot there available. Good APIs with them. All right, so let's look at the daily time frame here and work our way down. We take a quick look here. Again, we can kind of see this resistance level is consistently retested at $13.58. The price has since pulled back below that level, so we can still see a strong resistance. We are forming basically a bullish engulfing candle though, so this is a very positive sign here. I think a closure above somewhere in the range of about 1330 today would be a pretty good sign. Okay, so great stuff there in that sense, folks. We can also see stochastic R size trying to swing down. This is letting us know momentum is shifting. Okay, potential shift though. Daily time frame, I would trust it with a grain of salt, or take it with a grain of salt. I don't know. Can you trust a grain of salt? That's essentially, just a little premature, right? But it can still be a telling sign, letting you know that there's a shift in momentum. I prefer to trust that on smaller time frames, more so the 4-hour. But we can see above 50, below 70 in the RSI. Money flow index is above on the daily. That's huge. It's rare to see daily time frames give us a high MFI. So that's a really good sign. It tells us that we're sustaining at this price point. And we also have potential to sustain with 1250 being the next key level support based on those moving averages here. Let's go ahead and quickly add this here as well, just to kind of get perspective and kind of see where we're at. We want to pay attention to that little trend line there and just make sure we know exactly what's going on. Keep in mind, we do have a resistance level here at that 1.272 level, roughly at $13.95. I'm going to round up and say $14 is our key level resistance. Price wicked up to there perfectly today and rejected out. And it's also a previous daily close back in January. Okay, so things just to kind of pay attention to. 4-hour time frame, we take a look here. We're above all moving averages. That's fantastic. We can see stochastic is swinging down. This one is a little more impactful. Obviously, it's pulling back based on last 4 hours being fairly bearish. We saw a nice pullback here. What is that roughly? That's a rough estimate, about 5% correction in about 4 or 5 hours. So there's no doubt that the stochastic is going to swing down. Truth is, though, we're above 50 on the RSI. Until we break below, I'm not super concerned. MFI is still pretty high. So the money flow index being high and the price pulling back, that's still a bullish sign, folks. Same thing here as well with MACD. It's pulling back, of course, but hasn't fully diverged, so I'm not super concerned with that guy. Okay, so good stuff there in that sense. The hourly is going to confirm here for us a few things. We're still above the cloud, which is bullish, right? But it doesn't necessarily imply that it's like super bullish, right? So basically what that just tells us is that you should still consider leaving your position open if you have a long position open. Again, this is a conservative indication. Obviously, hindsight's 2020 should have sold up here. But again, not everyone uses my CC Golden Indicator and gets that sell signal, right? Again, if you do use it, 15-minute, 1-hour time frames, both very good. Generally speaking, the concept is to buy low, sell high. All right, so again, easier said than done, of course, but it does kind of make things a little easier for you. If you're curious about that, that's available on our homepage, or we have a walkthrough on our Discord too. But simply put, the lagging span is free and clear. Conversion lines above the baseline, we're over the cloud. Okay, so we have zero reasons to consider shorting. Obviously, hindsight's 2020. You could have shorted at this resistance at 14, but that's already said and done, right? We've got to deal with the here and now and live in the here and now. That's kind of how it works. Generally speaking, though, if we look at larger time frames, we can see that this could be our 3, and we're looking for our 4. In other words, we could see a pullback and or retracement here to that lower level of roughly 1325, which has already technically happened. Me personally, though, I don't trust that just for the moment. What I do trust is the more recent cup and handle scenario here, where we got the price action waking up here. I think this level here we want to pay attention to, 1365. The reason why that's important, because that was the most recent high. Price came very close to that level here recently before we wicked up and got our fill on our first profit target. So is it important that we close above that? I would say no, but it would be awesome if we did, okay? It's not a deal breaker if we don't. But if we take a look at kind of some price action here, why don't we go ahead and draw out some fibs here in the most recent time frame. Just get perspective here that we are getting close to our 0.5 fib level. In fact, the price bounced perfectly off 1327. So round number 1325 would be a key level support for us. We're right in that range of 0.5 to 0.382. I typically love that retracement area there. It does tell me that we have a good chance of being able to sustain the price in this point, at this point based on the volume profile being right there at the price action. So again, obviously you zoom out, it'll change the story. Let's take a quick look actually and zoom out a little bit and see where the most amount of volume is. We can see here that the most amount of volume is down to about 1270. We've talked about that. $12.70 to $13 is that key support level. That's why we felt confident and comfortable taking a trade here and having a nice little pivot or bounce off that previous high, okay, the previous resistance level. Again, those are all things you can kind of look back at my previous videos and identify if you want. I would just recommend at this point, be patient. I'm confident that the price will recover. If you're considering a long or a short, you're much more likely to have success going to the upside than the downside. That's just the general consensus right now. Keep in mind, Bitcoin could retrace sub 50,000. We're going to see some altcoins pull back. But the truth is here right now, Bitcoin dominance isn't super high. It's kind of plateauing, so to speak, if you kind of average it out. So with that being said, we see Bitcoin stabilizing at 51.5 and the price of Bitcoin dominance rather staying the same. That really tells us that altcoins are going to likely surge. So if you're not familiar with that, check out my education section in our Discord. I got a pin just to kind of keep it perspective. But Bitcoin price is up, and we can see Bitcoin dominance is stable. Okay, that lets us believe that we should see some altcoin prices increase because Bitcoin price is up and the price of dominance is essentially stable. Okay. Again, this isn't an exact science. This can fluctuate at any given time, but I would speculate at this point we should see the price of altcoins go up just based on Bitcoin dominance remaining relatively the same and Bitcoin holding at 51.5. This is a very common occurrence for us to see a lot of green across the board because of it. So do you go hard and heavy on longs right now? I would say that phase is probably halfway over. We should have one more leg up to likely fulfill our fifth and final wave on Elliott Wave for alts before we see any kind of correction. Again, and Bitcoin sells off later today, none of this matters. Okay, folks? So again, you can kind of see what happened already when Bitcoin just did a little knee-jerk reaction down. We could absolutely see a lot more. So again, my personal thoughts, this range here at about 1330 to 1345 should hold. And if we get a closure at 0.5 or higher, 1330, I think that gives us confirmation we should be able to see the price continue further in the near future. Once more, pending Bitcoin doesn't do anything nonsensical. Have you ever heard of Bitcoin not doing anything nonsensical? It's just kind of how the market is right now. Very, very different market now. Last but not least, Bitunix, phenomenal exchange. Highly recommend using them. Please use links down below so you can be eligible for our trading competition later this month. Not only that, but there's no KYC or VPN. Highly compliant and phenomenal exchange. They have trailing stop losses, multiple targets. Really, really cool exchange. They have features that most others do not. So thank you, Bitunix, just being an awesome opportunity for us, especially for our US and Canadian members. Hope you all have a great rest of the day, though. Thanks again for your time. We'll see you next one. Take care.